Alrighty, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. I really do appreciate it. So in the last video, we made the garbage truck. And someone was asking me about the weld, basically. So in this video, I want to further explain the weld. And yeah, and then maybe what we'll do is I'll publish this. And that way we can give rewards to the player. So we'll add rewards to the garbage. So when the player lifts up the bin and dumps the garbage into the truck, they'll gain whatever, experience, money, whatever you want to give the player for dumping the garbage bin. Then what we're going to do is I have a little bit of road here. I thought maybe I would go into the toolbox. You see they've updated Studio a little bit, so I'll have to find my way around here. It might take a minute. And I was just going to get like... oh, cool! I just saw that caught my eye. Look at this neat thing. It's some neat little stuff. So if we look at let's see, truck garage. I built one because I couldn't find a model, but I did build one. There you go. Look at this. Let's check this. I used one of these. Maybe this is the one that I used. Ooh, that's cool. It's got a bunch of scripts in it though, so I hesitate. I hesitate because you have to go through every script and you have to make sure what does it do, blah 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 blah, right? Has this got scripts in it? 182 scripts. Holy moly. Oh, it's a full fire station, Diva. Alright, let's see if we can just find like what's this here? Workers and resources. 96 scripts? What? Gotcha, just a car pack. $106 scripts. Wow. Yeah, so it goes to show, I'm sure there's the doors, right? You got scripts for the doors, you got scripts for this, scripts for that. There is a more efficient way of doing all of that. And I think what I'll do is we'll try and, okay, it only has 3 scripts, cool. We'll try and do something like that. So let's say this is where we go to pick up the garbage, okay? And that's gonna be, let's just say it's over here somewhere. Oh, look, there's fire. There's fire in there too. Oh, there's a barrel that's on fire, right? So that seems appropriate. There's a little old warehouse, something like that, okay? And then we need, what else do we need? We need a fence. So we'll go back to the toolbox. I got the kettle on in the background. That's what you're hearing there. Sure, we could do something like that. Right, and they're gonna have an alley. You know, whatever. Oh boy, oh boy. Right, so now what we're doing is we're creating a setting. So that's the next step. We've got our functioning truck, which is really all we need to begin with. And now we need to create the setting. Because what this is gonna do is this is gonna give us ideas. As we play around with the vehicle, as we play around with the setting, we then it gives us ideas, right? This is how we formulate ideas and test things. Does this work? Does that work? Oh, that was interesting. Maybe I want to drive here instead. Maybe we need a gas station. Like, it's the exact same thing. Whoops. It's the exact same thing that we set up in the construction worker game, right? Because it's think of it like let's see. The foundation of the game is the same. It's a vehicle game. So you need similar things, right? Ideally, your typical setting is a town or a city, and you're gonna have roads, and you know what I mean. So it's all pretty much the same. But if we make the garbage truck the primary vehicle in this one here, and then we give the player a couple of other vehicles, maybe a little car and a little pickup truck, you know, we can still make a engaging game without having to give them all this infrastructure and all this other kind of stuff. Right? What we need to do now is create infrastructure for the garbage truck. So we need a couple of businesses, you know, a couple of whatevers. So yeah, so it's got the fence. Let's see, we'll take this section here. That's all, you know, maybe build a park somewhere, right? Basically what we want to do now is we want to build a small town. A small town or a small city. And that just gives us something to start with, right? So you have the center of your town, you know, whatever it is. Maybe it's got some row offices. I'm just building just a warehouse depot here. That's all I'm doing. So we take this, we will duplicate him. Alrighty, and we'll scale this. Right, and then maybe the entrance is here. Oh, that came from... Now, be creative. It takes a while. Be creative. Maybe we want to get a sign. You know, something like that, and then what we can do is this isn't anchored, and we can, let's see, we can scale it a little bit. We'll say can't collide false. And if we go to, let's see here. We have to click on model. Gotcha. Yeah, except what we want to do is we want to take this one here. Alright, how do you show the constraint? Normally you just click on it and it shows the constraints. Now, how do I show constraints in the workspace? don't even know now. That's probably not a good thing. So, what's this here? This is just for that. What? How do you... Well, that's kind of stupid. Let's see. Oh, there it is. Show weld, show constraint details. Alt D. Okay, so they've got it in the view there. Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. I was like, yeah, that's kind of... They've changed it. Some changes. Alright, so now what we want to do is we can now just move this a little bit. It's probably not going to be center and it's probably going to wobble. But that's okay. Alright, so we'll take this position. And then we'll take this constraint. And we'll make it this position. Yeah, it's off center. Alright. So then what we'll do here is we just turn this into a motor. We'll say motor, and then angular limits enabled, and limits enabled. This, make sure that's a 0, or else it's going to go up and down. Get rid of limits enabled, and we can just set its angular velocity to 1. Alright, where's the spawn? Okay, it should be spinning. Yeah, there we go. So you could change that. You could, that is, to me, is a little bit fast. You know, we can slow it down, right? To 0.5. Right, and then what we can do with that is in the part, we can insert a object, and we'll insert a surface GUI, and then in there we're going to insert frame. And now we'll be able to see where the GUI is. Alright, so it's on the back. We need to change the frame. So how big is this here? 14 by 11. So oh no. Oh, that's the position. Size. There we go. Ooh, that's big. Ooh, that's a little bit too big. 900 maybe. 750. That can work. Alright, so that could be our sign, and then in there you can just insert an object, and it can be a text label, and then the text label can be the same size as a frame, doesn't matter. And then we just put in our text. So we can say text scaled. Alright, what's this? We'll say that's probably there. Spare parts and salvage, and then what we'll do is we'll let's see. We can change the background color. Where is that? Is that up here? The background color is here. Right? So you can change it to whatever you want. Yellow, you know, whatever the sign. And then I think there's a way to add like an effect to it. You know, we can go right crazy. Change the font to whatever you want. You know, can be something like that. And then what we can do is we can duplicate this and we can put this one on the front. And now there's one in the front and one in the back. And then when you play the game and you come close to the store, there we go, spare parts and salvage. Just like that. Oh, it makes sounds. It makes sounds. I wonder if that's these. I'll have to check. Ooh, glass. That's cool. Alright, so we have a little warehouse. It does some stuff. Looks pretty neat. So now what we need to do is we need to take our bin. This one here. And we can put them in the back here. So what we'll do is, because we're creating the setting, right? We're creating the setting. So maybe there's a couple of trashy dumpsters. And then there's the dumpster. You know, the non-prop dumpster. Now, I highly recommend not leaving the dumpster out. Okay? I highly recommend making it spawn here on the map. So in order to do that, we can just drag it right into server storage. We can group it as a folder, and we can call this folder bins, just like that. So there's a couple of ways we can do this. When the player touches a part, we can then have the bin spawn for the player, or ideally, when the player activates a mission, the bin spawns for the player. Now, when you have multiple players on the map, you want to have multiple bins. And that's where, you know, this, for example, would be a mission. Okay, and what you could do is you could create a route. Route A, Route B, Route C. I mean, I guess there's a few different ways that we can handle this. So let's just see. Let's bring the garbage truck over here. A few ways we can handle this. Or like I say, the easiest thing, honestly, let's say, the easiest thing we can do is this. We will, let's put down a block. Let's see, let's put down a block. We will anchor it, and let's scale it. So it spawns when the player drives down the alley. Oh, that's going to be cool. So you can see it spawn. Right, and then of course what we want to do in this bin as well, okay, is we want to, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, we want to go insert object, and what we want is a surface, a billboard GUI. That's what we want to do. Now we want to also insert an attachment. And we want to change that to UI, and then we'll put the billboard inside the UI. And then inside here, we're just going to insert a text label. There we go. So now when the bin spawns, it's going to have this label on it. And that text label can be whatever. It's going to have the player's name on it. It's going to say the player's name bin. Just like that, right? Simple, easy peasy. So now, when the player, so now we just need to put some code inside this button here. Insert object a script. And then what we also want to do is we want to make this can collide false. All right, so before we get in, I'm going to restart the music, and I'm going to get a coffee here. The kettle's done. Perfect. Okay, so back to the task at hand. Okay, so now we need to, this is going to be the spawn bin script. So now we have the trash spawn in, where is it? It's in there, is it the trash spawn, right? So we will need this part of the code. We do need the spawn part of the code. So we may as well take this whole thing. And we're going to put it right inside there. And then what we want to do is we want to tell the script to wait just a second. Same with this one here. Oh look, they actually started, I really kind of like the changes that they've made so far to Studio. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, in this case of the variable x, y, and z, I think we don't need that. I think we can just spawn the bin. So that's what we're going to test right now. It's just spawning the bin. So in the server storage, taking this bin. So now we need to say server storage, find first child bins. See, when it exists, it'll find it for you. It makes it easy. And then find first child bins. That's the bin. Okay. So instead of saying move to, we're just parenting it to the workspace. So in theory, if I run through this block, it should spawn the bin for me in the workspace. Oh, you know, because if, let's see, if hit.parent, and we should say find first child humanoid. There we go. And that's how you know if it's a player, they'll have a humanoid in them, or AI, a robot. Whoa! Okay, so we only want it to play once. There we go. And we got our Oh, it's named trash. Whoops, I gotta rename it to bins. Bins. Okay, so now the last thing we need to do is we need to reset. We need to have a reset on this. So when the player leaves, and then of course, so what that means is that we have to put signage up so the player knows they have to go in this side and they have to exit that side. You know, and so that can just be, we can scale this all the way here. So maybe there's like a guard station here. You know, just be creative, right? Make you know, make it like it's secured, like any kind of warehouse would be. So the trucks come in here, right? They have to stop. Maybe they have to. Oh, you know, let's do that. Let's do that. Okay. So what we need is, let's go into the toolbox. See, this is what I like. Now we're being creative. Now we're starting to think outside the box a little bit. This is what you need to do when you're designing your games. You need to play with it, because this is where your ideas are going to come from for your game. Okay, so now we have, oh, look at this. This is a cool looking booth. That's sweet. Nice. Oh yeah, look at that. That's got a fish in there. Cool. It's better than any of the ones I've ever built. Okay, so now what we can do is we can have this here. Okay. So you could walk through there, and then you have to drive through there. And then we'll have a second one over here on this side. And we can rotate that like this. So now what we need is a gate. Ooh, I wonder. Let's assess this fence. Let's do the easy. I could probably union all the fences into one giant model. Let's see here. Anchor, align, intersect, separate. Union, there it is. Look at that. How sweet is that? Perfect. So now we can weld. Boom. So now they're welded together. Okay. Now what we need is, let's see, it's going to go up. So what we need now is just a part. Now, we'll anchor this. Let's see, where do we want the pivot? It'll probably be there. All right, now, we need to do two things. We need a button, which is going to activate this script. Disable scripts, and then that means we don't need this here. Pretty simple. So there's two ways we can do this now. when the player, yeah, let's do the lazy. We're gonna do the lazy first. All right. So in here, we're gonna change this, enable scripts, but we're gonna change all this code. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this, and we're gonna take this, and this, and this, and we're gonna group as a model, and we're gonna call this gate. All right, just to make it easy. Now let's call this the bin spawn, and let's call this the activate. Then it's going to be easy to find with the code. So what we want to do is we want to say script.parent, and then this one here will be gate. Let's see, gate cylindrical constraint. Oh, gate platform. What's going on here? Script parent platform fence. Oh. There it is. Platform fence. Gate. Cylindrical constraint. There we go. Dot angular velocity equals 1. Now I want to make sure that we've set the constraint up. So in this case, it's going to be a servo. And angular limits enabled. No, we don't want that. It's going to go to 90 degrees. But we want limits enabled. So that way, because see what it's going to do, it wants to move this way. If you disable that, then it stays where it's at. Otherwise, it's going to want to move. Upper limit 90. No, 0. Inclination angle 90. Oh, so target angle. Minus 90. Okay. Let's see if that works. It does, but it's having troubles moving. Chances are this is collidable. And that is why. Now it looks like it wants to go down. What's going on with this gate? Huh. Maybe it's too heavy. Something's going on. I wonder if it's colliding here with this one. Alright, let's Gotcha. Oh, it's still doing the same thing. What is that? I don't know what's going on with this constraint. Doesn't want to work. It went down. Oh, maybe this has got to be 90. Oh my goodness, this is just... Really? It's just working and now it doesn't want to do anything? Oh my goodness, why? Why? Doesn't matter what I do, it just wants to go down. Why are you going down? What if I change the speed to minus? You can't even change the stupid speed. So no matter what I do, this thing wants to close down. Oh my goodness. I'm just having, I don't know, one of these frustrating weekends. Where no matter what I do, I get the opposite result of whatever I try and do. This is absolutely ridiculous. What the heck is going on? Alright, let's try that. Now it doesn't want to do anything. Oh, I get speed. 0. I don't know. Yeah, if I reverse the angle, it goes down. I don't want it to go down. I want it to go up. I want it to go to 90 degrees. Hey, what if I do that? Yeah, nothing. Oh my goodness, this is such a pain. There we go. How ridiculous is that? Alright, so figured that out. So when they hit it, here, I'll do this. The angular velocity will be to 1. And then it's going to wait 20. And then we will say script dot parent dot platform fence dot gate dot cylindrical constraint dot angular velocity equals 0. I guess it has to come back down, right? So instead of doing the angular velocity, what we now have to do is we have to do it by target angle. So in this case, the target angle is going to be 0. So in this case, we have to say target angle equals 90, and in this one here, target angle equals 0. Now let's see if that works. But we'll change this to like 10 seconds, just so that way it's, all right. Cool, so it goes up. Now, let's see if it'll do that while it's collidable. Yes, it will. Okay, perfect. So that's how that's going to work. So, when the player touches this, it's going to go up. It's going to wait 20 seconds, and then it's going to come back down. Then what it is also going to do is going to say script.parent .parent.bin spawn .spawn bin script .enabled equals true. So it's going to activate the other script. And then this script is going to be disabled. So then what we need to do is we need a third block over here. And what this is going to do is this is going to activate this script. So then what we also need to do is we need to take our gate. We need to take this part and this part. And we need to duplicate that. And we'll group that as a model. Then we'll say exit. Just like that. And then now what we need to do is we need to put this on the other side. We're not even, I'll just restart one more time. We're getting close. What are we at? 42 minutes. We're getting close. So, we've got just a little bit left to do on a Saturday. It's been a few days since I was able to put out a video. Frustratingly, it seems like it's going to be a few more days before I can put out another video after this. So please enjoy the video. I enjoy making them when I'm able to, but it's been increasingly difficult lately to try and make videos. I just don't seem to have the time, or I'm not given the time to make videos. So this is what we're doing. Okay, over here probably what I would take is this is collidable, is it? Yes, it is, and it's anchored. We'll just duplicate that, block it, just so it's kind of, you know, we could even end up just scale it here like this. Fence. There. So now when the player goes through this block, what it's going to do is it's going to activate. Is that looking for this one here? No, bin spawn script. Okay, so this one here in here, we're going to call this reset script. It's going to reset everything. So what this script is going to do when the player touches it, so let's see, so we touch this script, then it becomes disabled, then we touch this script, and it becomes enabled. So we need to find the bin spawn script .parent .bin spawn bin script .enabled equals false. Okay, now let me just run through this. Then we want to say script .enabled equals false, and we'll just tell it to wait for a split second, because I'm pretty sure this script, the reset script, so when we turn that on, what we also want to do is we want to say script.parent. Oh, this has to be activated. We'll turn this to reset. .parent.reset What is it? .reset scripts. .reset scripts. .enabled equals true. Alright, there we go. So, all things being what they are, reset script should be false. Spawn bin script should be false. The only script that should be active is this one here. So, let's roll through it. So, we touch this block. This one becomes active. The bin should have spawned. So, what's going on? Oh, I see, because it does it right. The latency is wrong in the script. It waits 20 seconds, and then it does it. So what it should do is it should do this right away. It should activate those scripts right away, instead of waiting, because the player's not going to wait. So, and then when we leave the game, let's see. So we come through here, the gate comes up. We come through here, it spawns the bin, and now what we need to do when we exit here, bin spawn script enable equals false. So we were able to get the name of the player into the bin. So what I want to do is when we touch the bin, so I'm kind of like a back and forth here. So we just built the gate, okay? But now what we need to do is we need to delete the bin. We need to make sure our bin is deleted when the player leaves the area as well, right? So it resets that script. It turns that script off, I think. Let's test that part first, just to make sure it resets itself, and then we'll focus on deleting the bin. So we come through here, all right. This gate activates, probably the other gate too. We do that, the bin spawns. We collect our reward for the bin. And then we leave. So, all things being what they are, yes, and then this one here should be enabled, but for some reason it is not enabled. I don't know why. So we need to check on the reset script, because the reset script is script .parent .bin spawn. Wait, script .parent .activate. Oh my goodness. Yeah, script .parent. Oh, .activate. Yeah. Oh, it's in the wrong one. .activate. Yeah, there we go. Spawn bin script .enabled equals true. All right, let's run through that. All right, that's done there. All right, now all things being what they are, that script is disabled. That script is disabled. And the reset script is disabled. Why? Oh, let's see. And I'm already getting text messages and I'm already getting bothered by people. So I'm just... I'm just getting fed up here. All right, let's see. So when I go through the reset, what's going on? Script.parent.parent.activate.spawn bin script .enabled equals true. But is there one that disables it? This one just spawns the bin and it disables itself. Okay. And this one here disables itself. Oh, after 20 seconds. Oh, that is the problem with here. It has to wait the 20 seconds. That is why. So when we leave, we have to make sure. Okay, so there's a better way. There's a better way to do this. Instead of making the script wait, what we can do, and then just disabling this the script. Because otherwise, it waits 20 seconds for the gate. So what we'll do is we need to change this. We need another script just for the gate. Unfortunately, we need another script just for the gate. So in here, we should insert object script. All right, and it'll be really simple. Inside the, is it activate here? Inside this one here, we're going to insert an object, a bool value. It's just a true and a false value. And we're going to call this gate. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, and then so we're going to say while true do if script.parent.parent.activate.gate is equal to true, then what we want to do is we want to tell this to wait for a moment. Then let's see, can we use this code here? Let's see. Script.parent.parent.platform. Yes, we can. Okay, perfect. So that's what it's going to do. Now, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? Here, we'll do this. We'll say if it is true, do that. Else, do that. Perfect. So when it goes to false, it should do that. Okay, so what sets it back to false? So this enables it. This turns the script.parent.gate equals true. All right, and then when we go through the reset, we need to say script.parent.parent.activate.gate equals false. There we go. Now that should be a total reset of the system, and we don't have to wait for the 20 seconds for the gate. That can be in its own script. So this should tell it to go, but it says gate is not a member of workspace.gate. What the fuck is going on? Parent. What? Yeah. Script.parent.gate.value. Reset script.gate.value. Okay, let's try that. All right, well, doesn't seem to be working. I sadly don't have any more time to focus on this today. I really wish I did. But I simply, oh, I see, because it was the same. I just simply don't. For whatever reason today, I just don't have the time. I don't know why. I don't know why oh, you know why? Because I didn't say gate. It just says gate. It doesn't say gate.value, right? This needs to be .value. All right. 1 hour. 1 hour is all I tried to ask for today. My coffee's going cold while I'm making this video. I hope you enjoy it. So, we got that. I was out late last night didn't go to bed till 2 a.m. And now I gotta start doing my day again. Okay, So that's done, that's done, that's done. Let's just check this here. And that should make the gate go back down, which it did. So that means everything is totally reset. So the final thing that we need to add to this, so I can end this video, is I need to make it so that way when it resets, it gets rid of that bin. So when the bin spawns, what we need to do in here, when we touch it, we need to say hit. Let's see, where's the bin here? Hit dot UI dot billboard BOARD GUI dot billboard GUI dot text label dot text equals player name dot value, and then it will have to be hit dot UI. No, it'll have to be hit dot player name dot value, and just like that is how hopefully that's gonna work. No, it didn't work. Why? Oh, because I have to touch it. I have to touch it with the... so that label should say, pick me up. It'll say something like that, right? So then when we run into it, it should change to the player's name. Yes, excellent, excellent, excellent. So now what we need to do is it changes to the player's name, but we want it to say player name, and then we want it to say hit.player name dot value, and then we want to say bin. I wonder if we can actually do that. Let's try that. Let's try that. Because that would make it easier, because then if it's the player's name space bin, then we'll be able to find it, space bin or player's name bin, whatever, however that's going to work. Let's see. Then we'll be able to find it in the workspace and delete it. Because we can get the player name from this part on the front of the truck. All right, so we go in. Let's see, what does it say on there now? Yes, perfect. So now what we can do is we can then, when we, because we have to connect all these dots through. So you build the code and you say, I want it to do this. And now we have to add that function to all the areas that we interact with, right? So this is kind of where you need to start doing this early, because if you start to add stuff to the game, then every time you want this vehicle to interact with it, you need to update it for the vehicle, or you need to update the vehicle. So it's good to have a good gauge and idea of what you want early, because I mean, you see what we just did with a gate. It took an hour just to make this little gate, and we're still not quite done. So now what we need to do is when the player releases the bin, we then need to change the name of the bin from bins to player name bin. So how do we do that? I'm not too sure. I'm looking for that right now, and then I'm going to see here. I needed the interface, right, which we get from the thing and the thing, and I just can't think right now. It's in the drive seat, right? There's the interface. Okay, so we don't need this one here. We need the vehicle script. Where does it? This remove bin. Okay. So it deletes the weld. Let's see. Show and explore script.parent.actions. So that's where the weld goes. Let me reset this one more time. I promise it's going to be the end of the video, because I'm going to start getting yelled at here. Okay, so the last thing we need on here is to change the name of the bin. So what we need is it this part here? It is this part here. .hitch.part. Huh. Let's try it. Let's try something here. Let's say script.parent .misc.model .hinch .part. Let's see, .part. Can we say .touched? But that's the... You know, if we did this, we could actually add, but it's the touched in there, so that's not going to work. So what we need to do is, we might need to put that in here actually when it connects. Instead of changing the billboard, it should change the billboard, but it should also change the hit.name. Hit.name equals let's see if that works. Player name dot value. Oh my goodness, I'm just getting so confused with this. Show and explore. Where's the damn bin? Oh. Equals hit.player name dot value. Alright, let's try that. Oh, we gotta run through it. And we have to run the gauntlet now every time because we have to make sure that everything is still in alignment. That's the hard part about testing. A lot of people just think, okay, it's good, let's move on to the next part, but you still have to make sure that you're able to connect your way through. Because if we change code in the front, it might change how things activate in the back side. Now, does it change that? It doesn't. Oh, it does. It changes it to Fuggy's 22 bin. Okay, perfect. So now what we need to do, so it changes it to the bin. So now what we want to do is when we exit, and now I'm going to have to put this over here just for testing purposes. So when we exit and the reset, what we need to do is we need the player's name. So we need to insert an object. We need a string value, all right? And we need to call this player name, all right? And we need to say, because when it gets hit by the humanoid, we could actually change this around. Instead of being hit by the person, it could be hit by this part on the truck, which is the same part that we use to. So it'll have to be hinch. So in the reset, if we say if hit dot name is equal to then we could say, so we could have like a, I guess we could do like a dual function. Well, we'll just do that because that's the part on the truck. Then what we want to say is we want to say hit dot, oh, because there's no, see, there's just so much here. There's just so much. Hit parent. Let's see. Dot drive seat. Dot player name. The player name dot value equals script dot parent dot player name dot value. All right, let's see if we can do that. All right, let's see if we can transfer the player name. Once we're able to transfer the player name, then we're able to search for the player in the workspace, and we're able to search for the player items that are in the workspace. Then we'll be able to delete the bin, that the player creates in the workspace after coming into contact with the bin with the garbage truck, right? So we do that. We do that. Now we just need to see if we can change this into the player's name when we come in contact with it, or we get an error. So we didn't get an error. That's good. Now it should say, hold on a second. Gate, I don't know what that is. Reset in there. Player name, didn't do anything. Didn't do anything. Why did it not do anything? Is that not the part on the truck? Alright, that's just too much going on. Let me just see there's too much going on here. What the heck is going on? Hit .parent, 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 .drive seat, .player name, .value. Oh, I see. I did that backwards. It should be script .parent, .player name, .value. Script .parent, player name .value equals that, and we should get rid of that. That's why. Okay, so now let's try this one here. And then that's all I got. I'll have to start addressing these issues that have been given to me. Back to reality. Bye-bye for now. Alright, so I'm not going to worry about that. What we need to focus on is, can I change the player name inside there to there? Does it transfer properly? It should, hopefully, please work. Was it the reset? Didn't do nothing. Okay, so I'm not too sure why that's not working right now, but you know what? That's fine. I can't focus on that today, so in the next video, we'll continue on connecting the dots and creating a setting. So I hope from this video you sort of got an idea of what it takes. So we created a little warehouse where we can go and pick up some garbage, but then we need a way to give the player a reward. So that's kind of what we're trying to do here. We want to spawn the bin, give the player a reward, and then also maybe give them a reward as they leave the facility. So just a couple of hiccups here in trying to get the, I don't know why this is not script.parent.playerName.value should be hit. So if we, oh, you know what? If it gets hit on this part here, script.parent.parent.parent 4, 1, 2, 3, probably one more actually. We can do this. We can do this. I wonder if it's resetting. It's just not even giving an error and nothing. It's not giving an error or anything. But it says disabled. The reset script. I don't know. Well, anyways. Well, let's see if it does anything else. Let's see if it does anything else. Let's see where we're getting this error. So it should make that gate go down. So it's actually not doing anything at all. It's not doing anything at all. Oh, you know why? It looks like I probably, yeah. There we go. Spelling. All right. Please work, please work, please work. Hey, I got an error. Yay! Workspace. So it tells me that I went one too far. All right. Now we have to keep testing this probably 2 more times, and then it'll connect. Once it connects the dots, then we can find the player names, bin, and everything will be okay. Then it will delete the bin, and then we can leave. And then in the next video, we'll go over giving the player a reward. Now that we're able to use the player's name to change in the workspace, basically. Once you're able to use the player's name in the workspace. So that went down, that went down, that went down. The gate, reset. Yes, there it is. Okay, perfect. Then what we need to do in the reset script is we need to say game, get service, workspace, and we need to say find first child. Let's see, script dot parent dot player name dot value dot bin. I think that's how it's named in the bin in here in the code. Yes, bin. Okay, there we go. So now we should be able to touch the bin, and we should be able to delete it now from the workspace. And that way, only one player can, you know what I mean? Only one player will have a bin, or every player will have their own bin, or whatever. I don't think that, you know. Anyways. So we drop the bin. What is that? Game.workspace, find first child, script apparent player name dot value. Oh, I think I need to do space dot space. I might need to. Is there a space in there? There is a space in there. Okay, that'll explain it. So the space, there will be an actual space. So it'll be player's name space bin. It won't be player's name bin. So that's important too, is when you're putting in names, is remember spaces do matter. It matters. The code won't be able to find it if there's any spaces. And that's what's happening here. It's just not able to find the name. So the code is right, but we just have the name wrong on the bin. Oh, but nothing's... all right. So that works. Notice how there's no space. I don't know what's going on. Oh, you know why? Because I probably just said, what do you do? Okay, so what we need to do is say local remove equals. Okay, then we need to say if remove, then remove. There we go. Just like that. There we go. I had to create a function for it because it could probably find it in the workspace, but okay. this is going to do it for the video. This is the last thing I can do. In the next video, we will go over giving rewards, adding more of these labels to things, and we'll go from there. We'll just kind of spiff it up a little bit, right? We're getting there. We're getting there. You know, one video at a time. We're getting there. Now, hopefully, I can find it, or it's going to give me an error. Yeah, there we go, and the bin disappears. Success. Okay, so I know it was a little quick, and I apologize for that. I've just run out of time. I tried to give myself more time today, just didn't have it. So we had to modify the connect script so it transfers the player name through. Now, why is the player name important? Because in order for us to search the workspace for items, the easiest thing to do is to name the object after the player. And that way we can track it, we can find it, we can give the player a reward, right? So there it deletes the bin. We could even change this and put it here if we want to. It doesn't necessarily have to be there, right? But ideally, after the player has left, right, it's going to delete their bin, blah, blah, blah. Because probably what it'll do is it'll spawn, what I'll do is, it doesn't change the name of the bin until the player spawns it. So anyways, there's a little bit more that needs to be done with this, and that's going to be in the next video. So thank you so much for watching. Liking and subscribing. Again, we created a gate that opens and closes when the player activates or touches this part. Then what we did is we created a part that spawns the bin. Then we needed to change the name of the bin so we could delete the bin when the player leaves the facility. That's basically what we're trying to do. Now what we need to do is give rewards to the player when they touch this block, and this block, and this block, and when they activate the bin. So that's coming up. Thank you so much, and I'll see you then.